Eagle Hill faculty to impart one final piece of wisdom. And this year's lesson will be taught by one of our up-and-coming superstar teachers, Mr. Thomas Hopper.
Just gonna rotate this a second. To Dr. McDonald, the Board of Trustees, my peers on the faculty and staff, honored guests, parents and family, and you, the class of 2018, thank you. I'm really honored and very excited to talk with you today. When I reflect upon my time at Eagle Hill, you are the class that I will most associate with my first 3 years here. Raise your hand if you came to Eagle Hill as a sophomore. Your first day was your sophomore year. We had our first day together. Which of us do you think was more nervous? It was you. I don't get nervous. No, really, I wasn't anxious at all that day because right from the bat of teaching at Eagle Hill, I felt very comfortable here. This is a place where you can be comfortable being yourself, finding who you are, finding where you're going, because you've been surrounded by people who are genuinely themselves. Just think for a second how profoundly you have changed in your time here. Over the next phase of your life, you're going to change exponentially even more than that. You're in store for a lot of self-discovery and identity exploration. The next 7 to 10 years of your life are going to be so fun and a little scary. You're going to try on a bunch of different identities just to see what works and what doesn't. You've already been through a phase like this. Remember middle school? Maybe they're trying to forget middle school. A few short months from now, you'll be living in new places, exploring a variety of interests, hanging out with new friends, working a variety of jobs, finding romance, and bonding with new mentors. This next phase of your life may seem uncomfortable at times. It should. That's okay. Uncomfortable, kind of like when I begin class with an embarrassing question to trick you into speaking. Now, I can't ask you a question today, but let's pretend that I am. And my embarrassing question is, tell me about a moment where you embarrassed, but you also learned a good life lesson. I know what one of you is thinking. One of you is thinking that one time in Hopper's class, when I got hit in the face with a koosh ball because I mouthed off all the time. Right, Alon? All right, now, as a rule, I always answer my own questions. So today, I'm going to tell you my embarrassing story that taught me a lot about life. I was 21, a rising senior at the University of North Carolina. I had just signed a lease on my first apartment. Eager to start my new life as an adult, I went to the grocery store. What did I buy there? Just grown-up things. Arugula, Gruyere, prosciutto. I even got a $15 bottle of wine to celebrate. How did I pay for this, you ask? Not cash, no, that was too practical. I did not pay with credit card because my parents were very wise. I swiped my debit card, keyed in my PIN, and immediately overdrew my balance. I discovered this at my next stop, the gas station, when my card got declined to fill up. So my car's running on fumes, so I pull into the shopping center to apply for some jobs. We're talking Trader Joe's, Starbucks, a Radio Shack. That's how long ago this was. Radio Shack was still around. Low-skilled minimum wage positions. So I walk in, I fill out the sheet. I think, ooh, I get to use my new address. I'm an adult. And walk out feeling more than a little desperate. Now, I haven't told you what I was wearing. Y'all know me as Mr. Best Dressed, but it was not always that way. I myself had several phases. Freshman year was my goth phase. I grew my beard down to my collarbone and wore all black everything. The year after that, I grew my hair long, dyed it purple, and wore nothing but 70s vintage clothes that I scored at a local thrift store. The year after that, I dressed like a hippie in loose flowing clothes, and the most comfortable shoes in the world, Crocs. Right, Jackson? I'm surprised you're not wearing them today. Then I went into grad school, and just like all the other hipsters, I wore skinny pants and thick glasses. You see what I mean about trying on new identities? Now, I'm a father. I wear ties and polos and boat shoes, and I'll never be cool again. Back to my story, the moment when my life took a huge turn. That hot summer afternoon as I'd gone from place to place, desperately applying for jobs. Picture this. I'm in an orange dashiki, patched and ripped linen pants, Crocs, and a necklace made of camel teeth. Those managers took one look at me and just ripped my application up as soon as I left. I didn't have a chance. So I walked back to my car, feeling a hint of dejection already. I see my now melted groceries. Try to get in the car, and I can't get in, so I pat my pockets to find my keys, only to find them in the car's ignition, with my apartment key on the chain as well. So I've got no job, I've got no car, I've got no groceries, I got no money. In fact, I don't even have no money. I have negative money. And I don't even have a house key. So much for being an adult. So I swallowed my pride and I did what every other reasonable adult would do. I called my parents on the verge of tears to have them come help me 100 miles away. And you know what? They did. No judgment, just kindness. They dropped whatever they were doing and drove 2 hours to Chapel Hill. Did I mention it was their wedding anniversary? I mean, it was number 24, so not like they had anything planned anyway. Now, my father did not want to come. And he was absolutely right. I hadn't budgeted. I had spent money decadently. And most importantly, he wanted me to earn it like he had done. A child of the Great Depression, my father became sole breadwinner of his house at age 12. And he picked cotton in the West Texas heat alongside Mexican workers who taught him Spanish. He studied Spanish and linguistics on a football scholarship at North Texas State, and then went on to earn his PhD in linguistics at the University of Missouri. Now, he didn't say it that day, but I had not lived up to his values. My mother saw it differently, as mothers often do. The daughter of 2 World War II veterans, my mother knew that you need a team around you to accomplish your mission. She had seen me go on my own, try and fail, and I was ready to help me out. She knew this was one of the last times that she would actually get to be a mom, because once I graduated college, our relationship would change. And she was right too, absolutely. Fortunately for me, my mom proved persuasive, as mothers often do. And my parents advanced me my first month's rent. And now as a teacher, when a student makes a mistake, I remember that moment of kindness, and I let that try to guide my actions. I hope I've lived up to that with you. Have I, George? Have I, Nate? Have I, Charlie? Now, why did I tell you this story, aside from embarrassing myself? Well, I wanted you to get a sense of what things are just going to be like for the next 7 to 10 years. You're going to feel very in between. You're going to explore your identity the only way you can, not through books, not through media, but by living it. Without a doubt, there's a lot of uncertainty ahead of you, but don't focus on that. Focus on the certain things. Awkward moments are going to come. We call those life lessons. Sometimes they bring tears. They will teach you what they need to, and then they will move on. Stay humble, embrace the lesson. Draw strength from members of your team. You see, you don't have to do it alone. At Eagle Hill, you have a team right from the start. Your parents, your friends, your advisor, your teachers, your dorm counselor, your coaches, the custodial staff, the kitchen staff, the maintenance staff, the medical staff, and administrators. We've all been on your side all the way. Now, you get to assemble your own team moving forward. So for the rest of my speech, I'm going to tell you who should be on your team. First, your parents. Find your parents out there. Look at them. Don't look at me. Look at them. They are wiser than you. They have been through this stage already. They love you, right?
Yeah.
They have more resources than you, and statistically, the odds are very high that you will live with them at some point in the next 2 years. Don't burn that bridge. Roommates and friends are also going to be on your team. Between 18 and 28, I did the math. I lived with 27 different people. If you count my wife, dog, and our 10-month-old son. Baby Luke leaves his stuff everywhere. He keeps us up all night, and he drools all over the furniture. But he is not the worst roommate I have ever had, trust me. Your roommates will teach you so much about your preferences. Yes, I would like the recycling taken out more than once a month. They will teach you how to negotiate with other people. No, do not bring drugs into my apartment. And again, most importantly, they will teach you about giving and receiving kindness. You'll need a few close friends too, yes, by which I mean actual people in real life who share your interests and values, not Snapchat streakers and not drinking buddies. Also on your team are your girlfriends and your boyfriends. They're very important. But I mean specifically those you've committed to romantically, not Netflix buddies. Dating people is a part of that identity exploration stuff I talked about earlier. Helps you find out what you want and what you don't want in your life partner. You'll also learn what you want and what you don't want in your career. And you'll do this by working a lot of different jobs. Look at the jobs that I was applying for. Low skill, minimum wage, temporary gigs. It actually was a blessing in disguise I didn't get those jobs. Here's why. That summer I did find work. One job was assisting elderly people through a community agency, and the other was cashiering a wine store. Providing elder care taught me how to relate to people, how to listen, how to provide comfort, basically everything that I've done every day that I've worked at Eagle Hill. And for the wine store, hey, there's nothing wrong with learning about wine, plus I got 30% discount, so I got invited to a lot of parties. The most miserable jobs I've ever worked are the ones that I did just for cash. The most fulfilling jobs are ones that taught me a skill, introduced me to new people, introduced a mentor to my life, or just gave me a human experience, like reading Shakespeare with Puerto Rican immigrants in Holyoke, like staring down the class clown who thinks he can punk that new substitute teacher, holding someone's hand after they've had a stroke. Find a job that pays you more than just a wage. Find the place where your talents meet the needs of the world, because that's where your vocation is going to be. The final group of people you need on your team are your professors, your bosses, your ministers, and other mentors. Turn to them when times get rough. Do good work for them, because you never know who they know and what opportunities await you. And most importantly, do good work for yourself, to prove that you can do it and to take pride in the fruits of your labor. Good things come to those who work. College, I don't know what to tell you. You'll figure it out. My first grade in college was a 38. I sashayed into a quiz I hadn't prepared for, and I got the grade that I deserved, a 38. I know your first grade won't be a 38. That's because you've got something that I don't. You've got an Eagle Hill diploma. An Eagle Hill diploma means You have risen above an educational system that wanted to keep you in the margins. Burdened with low expectations, you strove and now you have achieved excellence. You've come to see yourself for your abilities, not your liabilities. Embrace change. Find the place in the world that needs your talents. Assemble your team. We prepared you to step out in the world, and it will soon meet the full strength of your capabilities. Get out there and show them what you can do. Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. I remember tearing up at one of those speeches, but talking about an Eagle Hill diploma like that is extraordinary. So, on behalf of the class of 2018, to Thomas Hopper, Baccalaureate speaker, Eagle Hill School, June 1, 2018, thank you very much.